There are moments in the NFL when the storylines feel bigger than the game itself. When it's not just about first downs and touchdowns, it's about legacy, about drama, about voices that echo far beyond the field. And this week, out of nowhere, one of the loudest voices in all of football decided to drop a truth bomb right into the heart of Cleveland. This wasn't an insider whisper. This wasn't a reporter stirring the pot. No, this came from a man whose name alone carries weight across the entire sports world. A man who knows winning better than almost anyone alive. A man who, right now, has the world's attention on and off the field. And when he speaks, people listen. And the crazy part? He wasn't talking about his own team. He wasn't talking about Kansas City. He was talking about our Cleveland Browns. And what he said might just change everything. Let me tell you something that knocked me off my feet this week. Out of all the voices in the NFL world, out of all the analysts, insiders, and talking heads who could have chimed in on the Cleveland Browns quarterback mess, do you know who stepped up? Travis freaking Kelce. Yeah, that Travis Kelce. The face of the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty. A future Hall of Famer. And, oh, by the way, the guy who just got engaged to Taylor Swift. Half football legend, half global celebrity, and fully one of the busiest men alive. Think about it. He's chasing another Super Bowl ring. He's planning a wedding that's basically going to be the royal wedding of sports. He's co-hosting one of the biggest sports podcasts in the world with his brother Jason. The man doesn't even have time to breathe, and yet, somehow, he still found a moment to shake the NFL universe with a single take. Because this wasn't about the Chiefs. This wasn't about his career. This was about my Cleveland Browns. And let me tell you, Kelce didn't sugarcoat a damn thing. On the latest episode of New Heights, he looked right at the camera and said it with conviction. Give the people what they want. Start SHEDEUR Sanders. Not Joe Flacco. Not Gabriel. No, he called for SHEDEUR Sanders to take the reins as the Browns' starting quarterback. And he didn't say it like it was some hot take filler for podcast clicks. He said it like he meant every single word. Kelce spelled out, Browns fans don't just deserve competence. They deserve excitement. They deserve electricity. They deserve to watch Sanders not just play, but succeed. Because right now, the world isn't just watching SHEDEUR, they're rooting for him. And tell me he's wrong. Everywhere SHEDEUR's gone, he's been a lightning rod for attention. At Colorado, at the draft, and now in Cleveland. The spotlight follows him like it was built for him. And you can't coach that. You can't manufacture that. That's once-in-a-generation energy. And here's what makes it sting even more. Travis Kelce grew up in Cleveland. He knows this city. He knows what gets Browns fans off their seats. And he knows Sanders has it. That unteachable, unstoppable, undeniable it. But here's the problem. The Browns don't see it. Not yet. They've already made their decision. Joe Flacco is QB1. Gabriel sits as QB2. And Sanders? He's tucked away at QB3, like an afterthought. And I've got to ask, when has playing it safe ever given Browns fans hope? When has playing it safe ever put this team at the center of the NFL conversation? Never. Playing it safe is why Cleveland fans are still starving for a spark. That's why Kelce's words hit so hard. Because he's basically daring the Browns to stop playing scared and start giving the fans a reason to believe. Now here's where things get really interesting. Because right now, the quarterback situation in Cleveland feels like it's sitting on a live wire. One move, one trade, one injury, one slip, and everything could explode. You've probably heard Gabriel's name floating around in trade rumors. And trust me, that's not smoke. That's real. Teams like Dallas, Detroit, even the Raiders, they're desperate for depth after injuries, and Gabriel's name keeps popping up in conversations. If Cleveland pulls that trigger, suddenly Sanders slides into the QB2 role. And if that happens, oh, buckle up. Because the second SHEDEUR Sanders is one snap away from being the starter, the entire league will turn its eyes toward Cleveland. And imagine the scenario. Flacco goes down or struggles, and Sanders steps onto the field. The kid starts making plays, putting on a show, and the energy in that stadium flips overnight. The QB room flips. The locker room flips. The media coverage flips. Suddenly, Cleveland isn't just another team scratching for wins. They become the epicenter of the NFL's next great quarterback story. And you better believe the league wants that. The fans want that. Travis Kelce himself wants that. Because deep down, we all know, it's not just about wins and losses anymore. It's about capturing hearts, capturing attention, and reminding the world that the Browns aren't here just to play it safe. They're here to matter. Think about this for a second. Just a few short weeks ago, the conversation around Sanders was almost dismissive. People were talking about him like he was nothing more than a developmental piece. A prospect you stash away, someone you keep on the roster for experience, maybe give him a redshirt style year, and hope that down the line he pans out. That was the label. That was the box he was shoved into. But then training camp came. Preseason rolled around. And suddenly everything started to shift. The narrative that once painted him as not ready has been blown apart. Now people are looking at Sanders with new eyes. Because this kid, he's different. He carries himself with presence. He has a poise you just can't teach. When he steps on the field, there's an energy about him that makes people stop and pay attention. And here's the thing that truly separates him. He already has something Gabriel could never replicate, no matter how good he is. Sanders has a built-in fan base that follows him everywhere. It's not just fans, it's a movement. People believe in him. They're invested in him. And when you've got that kind of support, you're not just another rookie quarterback. You're the face of something bigger than yourself. That's exactly why analysts like Mike Florio are saying it out loud. If anyone's getting shipped out, it's Gabriel, not Sanders. And Florio's right. Trading Sanders? That would be a nightmare. A disaster. The backlash would hit instantly. The Browns know it. Andrew Berry knows it. Nobody in Cleveland's front office is trying to start a civil war with their own fans. That's why all the whispers keep pointing in the same direction. Gabriel might be the one on the move. Now look, I'm not here to say Gabriel isn't talented. He's smart. He's tough. He's a competitor. But the NFL is a different animal. And let's be real here, size matters. You can't escape that. Gabriel's height is becoming the unspoken truth in every conversation. It's the elephant in the room. No matter how much grit and heart he shows, there's a limit to what he can overcome when the physical tools just don't match up. Meanwhile, Sanders is rising. He's trending upward in a way that's impossible to ignore. Rich Eisen said it best, if Gabriel gets traded, it's only a matter of time before Sanders takes over as the starter. And you know what? I believe it. Because let me paint this picture for you. Joe Flacco takes the field, leads the team as expected, but at some point, even if it's just for one series, one single drive, Flacco has to come out. Suddenly, it's Sanders' turn. Now imagine he lights it up in that moment. He makes the throws. He moves the chains. Maybe he even finds the end zone. If that happens, it's game over. There's no stuffing that genie back in the bottle. Once the fan base sees what he's capable of, once the coaching staff sees that spark in real game action, you don't close that door again. You can't. That's how quickly the tide turns in the NFL. And let me tell you, I'm not the only one saying this. Stephen A. Smith has been pounding the table, screaming from every platform he has, that Sanders has already passed Gabriel on the depth chart. And when you watch him, you see why. He's been composed. He's been laser-focused. He hasn't brought any distractions to the table. No drama. No excuses. Just work. And that's what gets a coach's attention. Even Kevin Stefanski, who early on tried so hard to play it cool, tried to temper the hype, he's starting to change his tune. You can hear it in his tone. You can feel it in the way he talks about Sanders now. He's buying in. He's leaning in. And when your head coach, a guy known for being cautious and measured, starts to shift his stance like that, it tells you everything you need to know. And the analysts are piling on too. Mike Tannenbaum, Nick Wright, they're all putting Gabriel under the microscope. And every single time, the verdict keeps coming back to the same sticking point: size. Nick Wright said it perfectly. It's one of his cardinal sins when evaluating quarterbacks. Because you can't coach height. Drew Brees was the exception. Russell Wilson was the exception. But those guys are rare. Most quarterbacks in Gabriel's shoes, they hit that ceiling, and when they do, it shows up fast. Sanders, though, he's doing the opposite. He's been stacking wins every single day in practice. His training camp numbers don't just look good, they look polished. Accuracy? Sharp. Decision-making? Smart. Leadership? Natural. And here's the part that really blows me away: consistency. Day after day, rep after rep, Sanders is delivering the same level of execution. And in the NFL, consistency is gold. Because when you show it over and over, coaches have no choice but to notice. So now here we are. Gabriel looks like the odd man out. The Browns are listening to calls, weighing options, and in the middle of it all, Sanders is standing right there on the edge of an opportunity that could change the course of his entire career. He's right on the doorstep of something bigger. And here's the real kicker. If Sanders gets into a game this season and performs, even for just a quarter, even for just a few drives, if he shows Cleveland a glimpse of what he can be, then forget the backup conversation. Forget QB2. We're talking about QB1. We're talking about the future of the Cleveland Browns. The momentum is real. You can feel it in the stadium. You can see it on social media. The fan base is buzzing. The coaching staff is starting to align behind him. And the players, they know. Everyone can sense it. This is no longer just a battle for the backup job. This is the start of something bigger. This is the beginning of a quarterback revolution in Cleveland. But now, I want to throw it back to you. Do you believe Sanders is ready to step up and take over as the Browns starter when the time comes? Or do you think Gabriel still deserves a shot to prove himself as QB2? And what happens if Flacco goes down for just one game? Is Sanders the guy you trust to carry the torch? Drop your thoughts below, because I promise you, this story is only just heating up.